You know, in my personal opinion, not a whole lot of fragrances say scream just spring screen time, like a good fresh and green fragrance. Now when I say green fragrance, I mean more herbal qualities, still fresh, might have a little spice to it, but a fresh spice. You know, clean vetiver fragrances, things like that, just fresh, grassy type of scents. And in this video, I have 10 of my absolute favorites that I've been itching to pull out, and now that it's spring, I'm going to. I want to talk to you about them. Stay tuned. And I had to start things off with one of my absolute favorite green fragrances, and it is the second to cheapest in this video. Underrated. Guess Man. Yes, one that you've probably passed a ton of times at the rack stores that just smells great. Man, it's synthetic, don't get me wrong, but it smells great. And look, the glass, well, it's actually the juice color, being green is fitting. It smells green. I think the color green when I smell it. I believe it's some, forgot exactly what note it is that gives it, Pomarosa maybe, that gives it that distinctive smell, because it doesn't smell like any other green fragrance in my collection. Very, not overly unique, but it stands out. When I smell this, I know it's Guess Man. I don't have any other fragrances that it reminds me of. It's just a beautiful fragrance. It's one that I don't reach for enough, but I really only reach for in the springtime. And now that spring is here, we just had some snow pass. We have some beautiful spring days coming. This is probably going to make the rotation in the upcoming week or so, because it's a beautiful fragrance. And if you see it out at Ross Dress for Less, places like that, which is where I got this a few years back, maybe give it a grab. It's only like 15 bucks for a 50 ml like this. And yes, it's a gimmicky, weird looking bottle that makes the G for Guess. It's a damn good green spring fragrance, very fresh. And that's Guess Man. Salty, grassy green, fresh citrus, light and airy. MANCERA Wave Musk. One of the most potent green fragrances I own. Definitely one of the most potent in this video, and super fresh and believable. It smells like fresh cut grass and some citrus with a little salt. It might not sound appealing, but man, you have to smell this one to understand it. Not one that a lot of people really talk about. I have featured it a few times over the last year and a half on my channel, because this is some really good stuff, and it just screams spring because it's so fresh and green. Don't get me wrong, great summer fragrance too, great performer for the high heat, but at the same time, it just screams beautiful spring day, 70 some odd degrees, you know, one of those mild, not cold, not cool, not hot, slightly warm type of days. Beautiful outside, everything's starting to turn green again. The grass is green, the trees are growing. This is a great fragrance. This makes me think of that type of setting because it just screams spring. And it's an 8+ hour fragrance on my skin. You can find them for a decent price. They're not the easiest fragrance to locate, but they're out there. I wouldn't pay retail for any MANCERA fragrance. Same story for Wave Musk. Definitely give this one a try if you want something different. A fresh green fragrance that doesn't smell like all the rest. MANCERA Wave Musk. Now, believe it or not, Guess Man was not the cheapest fragrance in this video, because this is just, look, for like $10 or $12. Yeah, it doesn't perform that well, but it's great out the shower. It's great to run errands. It's just when you want to smell nice, fresh, and green. Not a whole lot really smells like it. Lucky you. From Lucky Brand. You can find these for like $10, $12 at the rack stores. Online, they're right around 12 bucks. It's a good fragrance. It's obviously performance is weak. But man, the green juice, another one. Fitting. I think the color green when I smell it, because it's got a beautiful grassy note in here. And for being as cheap as it is, it's not too synthetic. It doesn't smell like a synthetic mess. It's great for a warm spring day. Definitely not one I would choose on the milder, colder spring days where it's, you know, might drop in the high 40s, low 50s. Cooler days, I would look for something a little bit more dense than this because it's so fresh. But man, it is hard to beat. Not a lot of talk around this one these days. This is one you've probably seen at different rack stores and just passed on because you saw it was so cheap and you didn't really give it two thoughts. You didn't think twice. I'm telling you, you might have passed up on something that you'll really enjoy. Now, is it going to be for everybody? No, but if you're on an extreme budget, this is a great fresh and green spring fragrance. Like I said, maybe a 2 or 3 hour fragrance. Nothing special, but you can spray it heavy and it smells really good. You're going to enjoy it. Doesn't really reach out and grab people. If they do smell you, they'll think you smell fresh and clean, but it's one that you can definitely enjoy for yourself on an extreme budget. That's Lucky You by Lucky Brand. Now, there's not a whole lot of vetiver fragrances that I really enjoy, as those of you who've been watching me for a while already know. There's only a handful that I really enjoy, with this being the primary. One of, if not, it's top 2 for me, of favorite vetiver fragrances. I'm talking about ROJA Parfums Vetiver Parfum Cologne. Another one that spring summer type of scent for me. Smells just like the bottle color. Nice and green. Clean, fresh, soapy vetiver. Super high quality. I mean, it's a ROJA Parfums fragrance. My least favorite in the Parfum Cologne line, but I still really like this fragrance, so that should tell you what I think of this line. If this is my least favorite, and it's one of my favorite vetiver fragrances, you should know that the Parfum Cologne line from ROJA Parfums is just that good to me. Hold it in high regard. They're all high quality. They all perform well, with this being kind of the weakest. 5 to 6 hour fragrance. Not a beast by any means, but the scent on this one, magnifique. Beautiful, gorgeous vetiver fragrance. It narrowly loses out as my favorite vetiver fragrance to Dior Eau Sauvage Parfum, which, yes, it's citrusy. Yes, it's got LME resin, but it's dominated by a clean, soapy vetiver on my skin. That's why I consider it a vetiver fragrance. But if you don't want to consider that a vetiver fragrance, which I do, then this would be my favorite. Beautiful. Obviously, they're expensive. Not a cheap fragrance to get. If you're ready to get a bottle, there's always a link down below for vetiver fragrances where you can get it for a pretty good discount. Still expensive nonetheless, but if not, get a sample, get a decant, try it for yourself. Definitely try it before you buy, because it's not cheap. But it's a damn good vetiver fragrance. It's fresh and green. It's Vetiver Parfum Cologne. So this one is brand new to the collection. Just got this one, just did my first impressions. If you haven't seen that video yet, put it right there for you guys. It's the newest flanker to the heralded classic Polo from Ralph Lauren. This is Polo Cologne Intense, the Eau de Parfum. This essentially is, if Polo was a brand new fragrance, this is what it would be. Much more modern, no tobacco. It's still very green, fresh spicy. It's got a lot of basil going for it. There's a little bit of citrus up top, spearmint oil, stuff like that. But it's mostly clary sage for me, basil. I do get a little bit of the violet leaf, and then some smooth ambroxan and vetiver. Yes, I said ambroxan. Man, I dig it. It's super green and fresh with just the right amount of fresh spice. Not a beast so far. I did spray my wrist earlier, but it's an average performer, you know, not a real beast. I would say based on that first spray I gave, I still got a lot of time to spend with this one before I can give my full thoughts, but initial impressions, I got about 6 hours-ish on my skin before it became a skin scent, and it was decent. It was projecting decent. I wouldn't call it a beast mode fragrance, but I wouldn't call it a weak projector either, kind of in that average range across the board, but I really do like the scent on this one. Very fresh and green, perfect release, just in time for the spring season, because this stuff screams green spring scent. Especially for those dressier occasions, this will be a good option for you. Definitely try before you buy, not blind buy safe, but I do believe for those of you that think Polo Green's an old man's fragrance, you might like this one a little bit better because it's the modern version, essentially. Definitely try before you buy. They're starting to hit the stores. I picked this one up from Ulta Beauty at full retail for $90. That's Polo Green Cologne Intense Eau de Parfum. One that I haven't talked about in quite a while on this channel. I actually ran out of my second bottle of the shower gel of this scent. I've had exfoliating body bars of this scent from this company. It's pretty much my favorite scent from this company. I'm talking about CREMO, and I'm talking about blue cedar and cypress. Some lemongrass, some cypress, and some cedar wood. It's pretty much what it smells like too. That note breakdown is pretty accurate to me. Man, 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 is this a good scent. It's one of those fragrances that just screams fresh green because it's so much cypress. That lemongrass really adds that fresh green appeal to it without smelling real lemony. It's a basic, simplistic note breakdown, but what you see on the note breakdown is pretty much what you smell. Nothing special in performance, 4 to 6 hours, really in that 4-ish, 5-ish hour range. Great out the shower scent, great casual day, great for a work fragrance. I wouldn't really dress this one up. It is very synthetic. It is a CREMO fragrance, but you can get them for around $22.99 for a 100 ml bottle. If you're into layering and matching scents, they have exfoliating body bars, shower gels, shampoos, conditioners. They have hair products, beard products. This Blue Cedar and Cypress is a popular scent for them, so they have a lot of product options. Deodorants. They have a Blue Cedar and Cypress deodorant to where you can really layer yourself and lather yourself down with this scent if you enjoy it. And it's one that's worth trying in my opinion. They pop up at Target, different grocery stores, drugstores, places like that, where you can get your hands on some of the fragrances. I know Ice, Citronal Driftwood, and some of the new ones get the love these days, but don't forget about Blue Cedar and Cypress, because in my opinion, when it comes to spring, it's the best one because it's nice, fresh, and green. Now, I mentioned those cooler, milder spring days earlier. For that, I would want something a little bit more dense, maybe not quite as fresh, but still plenty of green, herbaceous quality. Add a little bit of spice, still get a little cleanness from maybe some soapy lavender, for example. With Calvin Klein Eternity, the Eau de Parfum. This has got a little bit more density. This isn't quite as fresh while still having that soapy clean lavender that I was just talking about. I had the bottle backwards. Man, I love this scent. So much better than the original in my opinion. Yes, the Eau de Toilette, it's a classic. It's going to be a little bit lighter and fresher, but I just think this is a better scent overall. Cypress is very dominant in this one as well. Very woody in the dry down. Has a slightly matured appeal, I guess you could say, because it is Eternity at the end of the day, but definitely not an old man scent in my opinion. I don't think the younger bucks need to steer clear of this one. I would definitely try it first. Anywhere that sells like Calvin Klein fragrances for retail, fragrance counters, Macy's, Dillard's, Stage, places like that, go check it out. Try it out, spray it on your skin, grab a tester bottle, which this is actually a tester bottle. Spray it, see how it wears on you, because in my opinion, for those cooler spring days, this is the way to go. This really is a great fragrance. Dressier occasions, work fragrance, another one. Fantastic for that. Not the best in the highest of heat, but the mild, warm weather of spring and the cooler spring days for sure. This stuff really shines. It makes a lot of my spring videos because it deserves to, because I really, really like this one. And I think it's one that more people should try. It got a little bit of hype when it first came out a while back, but that kind of killed over. But in my opinion, it's still the best in the line and deserves your attention. If you're looking for something green that has a little bit of density, maybe not quite as fresh for those cooler days, if you're in a cooler climate like I am over here in Colorado, definitely check out Eternity EDP from Calvin Klein. One that I almost forgot I had for a little while, and when I had this video idea, it dawned on me, oh wait, I forgot I have that fragrance, because I haven't worn it since last spring. It's been a while. Very good. One of the few smoky vetivers that I like, because most of the time they turn me off. But with Bentley Wild Vetiver from the Beyond collection, this is the only smoky vetiver I've ever found myself really enjoying. It's really, really good. Man, is it good. God, niche quality for sure. Nothing synthetic about this one. Bentley's known for putting out some pretty good quality fragrances, with this being a little bit higher tier than the Ferment line, the Momentum line, and stuff like that, the Infinite line. The Beyond collection is a bit higher quality, upper echelon, high tier for Bentley, and this is a damn good fragrance. There's no way around it. It's fresh and green, but still has a smoky quality to it. I believe there's actually a little bit of smoke in this one, a smoke accord that gives you that smoky vetiver, but it still maintains a lot of freshness at the same time, and it doesn't wear heavy. It's an average performer. It's not some beast, and it's not a cheapie either, like a lot of the Bentley fragrances are. You're going to pay in that $50 to $75 range depending on where you find it. I know FragranceBuy.ca tends to carry them. I forgot exactly how much it is right now from them. I think they have a stock of them currently. But if you're looking for a really good vetiver fragrance, a really good fresh yet smoky vetiver that's quality at a designer price point, look no further than Wild Vetiver from the Beyond collection. Bright bitter citrus from the bergamot, beautiful soapy clean vetiver. I've really kind of fallen for this fragrance here lately. I just wore it this few days ago in this past week. Really digging this one from Bon Parfumeur. It's number 601. It's very heavy on the vetiver and the bergamot. There's other notes in here, but that's what really stands out to me. There's a little bit of florals in there. There's some woods, obviously cedar, stuff like that. Great performer. Not a beast, but I mean, it's like a 6 to 8 hour fragrance. Right in that sweet spot, around 7 hours. Not a heavy projector. Has enough in the trail to where it could grab somebody, but I mean, I haven't received a compliment from this one yet in the few times I've worn it. Not some big compliment getter, but a joy to wear. Quality. Bon Parfumeur is a bit more affordable niche. You can get these in the $100 range for these 100 ml bottles, and for a high quality niche fragrance, $100 is affordable. For a designer, that's not, but for niche, that absolutely is. And it's beautiful. Is it breaking the mold? Is it some groundbreaking vetiver fragrance? No, not a groundbreaking fragrance at all, but a great one nonetheless. What it does very, very well in my opinion. And they do offer little samples and little shots, they call them. Worth trying, in my opinion. You can get a few of them in a little pack. That would be the way to go, I would think, to figure out what you like from them, because everything I've tried from them I really like so far. Underrated house in my opinion. They deserve some more love, especially fragrances like 601. Fresh, clean vetiver, super fresh and green, perfect for spring. Number 601. The freshest, the greenest. It's my favorite spring fragrance. It was number 1 on my cheapie list. I had to keep it in this video too, because gotta be straight with you guys. Artisan Blue from John VARVATOS. My favorite spring fragrance, my favorite green fragrance, my favorite fresh green fragrance. The scent quality's there. The performance is not. 3 to 4 hour fragrance. Projection's not real heavy. You can go to town spray on this one. This is my second bottle. I used to have a 75 ml. Now I've got this 125 that I've started to put a pretty good dent in. It's a damn good fragrance. They pop up at Marshall's and places like that. When you see it, don't hesitate. In my opinion, must buy. Blind buy safe. As long as you like fresh, green, herbal fragrances. That's not heavy on the citrus, but more on the green freshness. Grassy type of stuff. Pomelo leaves, things like that. Really, really, really good fragrance. I can't stress it enough. Now granted, this is my opinion and it's for my taste. Outside of the John VARVATOS stores and certain designer malls, I don't know where you can sample it. They have carded samples you can get, but man, for what you can get it for, 75 mLs are gonna run you $24.99 at Marshall's when they pop up. It's worth a shot in my opinion. If you're gonna buy something for 25 bucks, a fragrance from Marshall's, and you see it, I feel like more times than not, most people are gonna be happy with this because it's a damn good fragrance in my opinion. My favorite fragrance for spring just so happens to be fresh and green, which fits this video. John VARVATOS, Artisan Blue. Well guys, that's my picks, and until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. What in this video have you tried before? What have you been wanting to try that I discussed today? Did anything pique your interest? Let me know down in the comments. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the fragrances featured in this video today and you give them a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.